This video is sponsored by War Thunder. Have you ever looked at your neighbor with deep-seated envy, wishing you could have their life? Have you ever wanted to observe them intently before stealing most of what they own, then steal their job, their wife, and eventually their whole identity? Do you want to watch them unravel in real time as a fully simulated world leaves them behind? Why? What's wrong with you? You can do all that and more in The Sims 3. Well, you know, like most of it. This is by far my most played entry in the series, something I certainly wouldn't have expected back in 2009 when the game released. I was all about answering the Call of Duty back then and thought The Sims was kinda lame and possibly for girls. That lasted about 5 minutes into watching my brother play it after he got it for his birthday. This game was crazy. It was also running crazy bad on my mom's Acer laptop, but that didn't stop me from sheepishly launching the EXE once it was my turn on the pewter. If I could only use one word to describe Sims 3 under threat of physical harm, I'd call the game sunny. The whole vibe is just really bright and happy, even more so than its predecessor, and much like Sims 2 feeling endemic to the early 2000s, Sims 3 brings me right back to the age of Vista, for better or for worse. While Sims 1 is very much a parody and its sequel maintains some of those elements, number 3 is, at least in my eyes, a largely earnest experience that leans into the optimism in a much more honest fashion. Personally, I prefer it, but there's no denying that some of the characteristic quirks and humor of the past titles got a bit lost along the way. On the gameplay front, Sims 3 was a big step. In what direction though? Well, I suppose we'll soon find out. But first, a word from today's sponsor, War Thunder. Engage in military action of epic proportions in War Thunder, a free-to-play multiplayer game for PC, consoles, and mobile featuring large-scale battles on massive maps. Fight on land, sea, and even in the skies to pave your way to victory. Choose from a staggering selection of over 2,500 expertly detailed tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships, each uniquely realized to capture the look and feel of their historic and modern counterparts. Feel the heat of every skirmish thanks to realistic sound and visuals coupled with a sophisticated damage model where a single shot can determine the outcome. Whether you prefer the quick matches in arcade mode, the ruthless realism of simulator mode, or the balance of realistic mode, War Thunder has something for everyone. Get War Thunder for free with my links in the description and pinned comment, and new players or those returning after 6 months will receive a bonus pack on PC or console featuring premium vehicles, the Eagle of Valor Decorator, 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium. Available for a limited time only, so don't miss it. So join the 70 million players worldwide today and duke it out in the colossal PvP battles of War Thunder, the most uniquely comprehensive game for the fans of military history. Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring. Now back to the video. First order of business is, of course, creating a sim. As I've mentioned in the Sims 2 video, watch it if you haven't, I believe the creator got better with every entry. I know the graphics here are a point of contention for some, as Sims 3 chose a partially realistic approach, but as you'll see, it's still very possible to create something goofy. Every time I do these now, I feel like the guy from Spike is that made all the thumb people. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the world, Lorinda Morphing. She's based on a woman we've all met at some point, maybe at a cheap salon or Tesco, a class of entity I can only describe as somebody's aunt. Having somehow survived the financial crisis of 2008, Glorinda purchased her first home. I took the liberty of furnishing the place, which seemed to make Glorinda quite happy, although I suspect it might have been the very concept of purchasing that excited her. Keeping in character, immediately after, Glorinda started reading a trashy novel, which I used to take some time and explore the neighborhood. It's a riveting gameplay, isn't it? Soon it was time to start tending to Glorinda's needs. Sims 3 added moodlets to the mix, a collection of possible effects on the Sims mood meter brought about by activities, events, and so on. I was always a big fan of this addition, as it not only adds variety, but also opens the door for some mild min-maxing, though it might just be seeing all those little icons pop up that always brought me such joy. The wants returned from Sims 2 with some minor alterations, while fears were omitted entirely. Upon showing interest in fishing, Glorinda went out to someone's house to cast her first line. Not particularly successful, Glorinda decided to treat herself on the way home and promptly stole several items from a neighbor's driveway before making her escape. After selling everything on the black market, Glorinda was able to purchase a computer and begin her journey as a writer. Can we afford a writing class? Nope, we certainly can't. Depressed by her poverty, Glorinda went fishing again, this time at the Goth residence. He's like, "Welcome to our house, hope you like the fish." Wait, where's he going? Just very excited about that. Gunther did return shortly after, and Glorinda managed to mooch off a single simoleon of him before running home. While Glorinda was cooking her very first meal, I happened upon a ghastly apparition at the Goth estate and sent her to investigate. They have cars? That's just a regular-ass car. Speaking of cars, Glorinda was growing tired of not having one. In order to personalize Glorinda's new car, I utilized the beloved Create a Style feature, a mechanic that remains exclusive to Sims 3 much to the dismay of fans. While I understand implementing any extensive customization features can be difficult and costly, the lack of this function in Sims 4 takes away a lot of room for self-expression, and I wish it remained a staple of the series. For reasons unknown, Glorinda decided to visit the graveyard, which was rather uneventful. Wait, who is this? What were they doing in the bushes? After a brief stint in the catacombs, Glorinda went back home. What is this? Someone playing guitar? Oh, of course, it's just a guy serenading a toddler at 5:54 a.m. I guess now's a good time as any to talk about the other big selling point of this game. It's open world. In The Sims 2, each household was its own pocket dimension, and if it wasn't active, the Sims did not age or even really exist beyond appearing on lots your Sim entered. But unless they died or got married into your household, when you loaded into their household, they'd be exactly as you left them. In 3, the entire world runs in real time, meaning that Sims have their own jobs, routines, and leisure activities that they perform regardless of the player. You can float around the map and watch Sims go about their day, drive to work, go home, go to the park, or do other stuff. Of course, there are ways in which the game saves on performance and tries to funnel activity to spots either your camera or your Sim is physically present. When you go to a lot, oftentimes a ton of Sims suddenly decide to go there as well. As the town is fairly large and apparently only houses 67 residents, I presume the game does this to make sure the player feels like the lots are bustling with activity. I love the open world. It's one of the reasons why I prefer this entry over the others and why it feels so lively to me despite its limitations. Admittedly, a lot of that is possible thanks to the power of current hardware, as the game was quite buggy and very demanding back then, a reality that, while not as relevant now, does deserve a mention, if only for the sake of transparency. After finishing her latest book, Glorinda went out to practice fishing, except that was a lie. In truth, Glorinda was casing the 2 richest households in town. Starting with the land grabs, Glorinda got a bit carried away at their pond, almost getting herself caught on the way out. But in a masterful display of manipulation, Glorinda asked the stupid little child to let her in, which the parents naturally did not contest. She struck up a friendly conversation about how big and full of expensive objects Nancy's domicile happened to be and how wonderful it must feel to live there, while surreptitiously checking out her PlayStation. Soon she took her leave, and the next day Glorinda paid a visit to yet another rich townie. As soon as she entered, that same lady called Glorinda requesting a serving of hot dogs, but later claimed Glorinda was behaving inappropriately when she began cooking them in her kitchen. Before leaving, Glorinda helped herself to a parting gift, which in turn paid for a new grill as well as a new television. Did she break the sink by brushing her teeth? Visiting the library at peak hours, seating was rather scarce, so Glorinda had to settle for the children's play area. With newfound knowledge, she started her very own garden, and while Glorinda was busy playing with dirt, I went to observe the townsfolk once again. I swear to God, dude, these 2 are up to something, because who stands on a cliffside just reading, as if that was a normal thing to do? Dude, no way we can put this on YouTube. I'm gonna have to cover her up. After some time, Glorinda has accumulated enough aspiration points to upgrade her learning abilities. But as luck would have it, she got visited by a burglar that very same night. The police is useless in this town. Oh, you know what? We're gonna follow him. See where he lives. Oh, of course, the designated crime building that every town has. The garden was coming along nicely, and Glorinda finally managed to grow a life plant, one of 2 ingredients necessary to cook the coveted ambrosia, a dish that can reset a Sim's current age counter or even bring them back from the dead. Taking the next crucial step towards the big heist, Glorinda got chummy with the Altos, but once again got berated and kicked out for attempting to prepare a succulent meal in their kitchen. Apart from life fruit, ambrosia requires deathfish, which spawns only in the graveyard pond late at night. While her gardening skills were sufficient, in order to catch a deathfish, Glorinda would need some serious practice. Firmly on that grind, Glorinda was momentarily distracted by an opportunity to write Vita Aldo's biography, but when I went to check on her, I discovered something terrible. What about the neighbors? Anyone home? Why is it gray? No. Did they move out? I didn't know they could do that. But they could. The Landgraf family moved out of their mansion, right next to Glorinda, actually. As I later learned, this was a result of something called story progression, a new mechanic introduced alongside the open world. Apart from things like aging and death, households can now move, Sims can change careers, get married, separate, and even have children, all without any outside influence. Apparently, story progression can cause quite a few issues in people's games, and while I think it's a great idea in theory, the actual implementation could use both better optimization as well as a bit more intention in its criteria, should the structure and performance allow it. Glorinda knew she could waste no more time. The heist had to happen tonight, while there was still at least one household left to rob. Easy does it. Let's get the laptop. No, don't steal the curtain. Dude, what are you doing? That's it. We're out of swipes. Well, that was a fiasco. Unable to perform under pressure, Glorinda went home with a measly score. She was devastated and decided to look for answers at the Landgraf household. Why did they downsize? What led them to leave a life of luxury behind? There's a lot of pressure and crazy stuff happening when you're rich, you know? Glorinda didn't quite understand him and frankly thought he was a little stupid, but figured that perhaps crime might not be the optimal path moving forward. So she returned some of the stuff she stole and hit the books with a renewed sense of purpose. And slowly things finally started looking up for Glorinda. Soon she forgot all about the heist and even won a local eating contest. And soon she was ready to, sorry. Hello? Nah, dude, this guy deserves to be robbed. This time, Glorinda went right for the throat and left in spectacular fashion. Alright, let's see how much we get. Come on, really? This is a 100k car. Regardless, Glorinda went back to her duties and managed to reach max gardening skill not long after. Why does the paper girl hate her? Hey, you know what? You too. Glorinda was doing well, but also felt rather lonely, so she went to socialize in the park where she eventually witnessed a lady pee her pants. Feeling inspired, Glorinda wrote yet another book, which finally pushed her net worth over 100,000, fulfilling her lifelong aspiration. But to Glorinda, this was just the beginning. Almost immediately, she started partnering with local businesses, laying the groundwork for her future empire. During a small fishing trip, Glorinda saw a familiar face swimming in the sea. It was none other than Gunther Goth, and to Glorinda's utter shock, he had aged. Reminded of her finite nature, Glorinda resumed her quest for deathfish, and sure enough, she got lucky and managed to catch an angelfish, the bait needed to lure the former. After a dip in the sea, Glorinda returned to the graveyard, this time armed with newfound skills and tools, and it wasn't long before it finally happened. Just get however many we can. Who's that? Tragic clown? Glorinda took interest in this mysterious apparition, and from the moment they locked eyes, she knew it was meant to be. They spent the entire night in conversation, mostly Glorinda talking his ear off until daylight banished Tragic back to the underworld. It was in this very moment when Glorinda finally found her mission, to bring her one true love back from the dead and live happily ever after. First order of business, reach max cooking. No problem. Second, buy recipe for ambrosia. Easy, we got enough money. Third, actually make the damn thing. Got all we need. Smooth sailing. Fourth, get Tragic to actually eat the ambrosia. A real pain in the ass. This ghost just passed out. Disgusted with each other. All was going according to plan, but before she could feed him the ambrosia, Tragic once again disappeared. While waiting for Tragic's return, I noticed his grave could be moved, so I relocated it to Glorinda's backyard. Unfortunately, this attempt was no more successful than the last, so while Glorinda took her frustration out on a sprinkler, I devised a new plan. Just gonna change this real quick. Rise from the underworld, where you are with the demons. Having to wait for nightfall, Glorinda continued her acquisition spree and even participated in a local grillathon. And while she was having a hoot of a time, deep down she was filled with doubt. But just as she went to sleep that night, it finally happened. Tragic rose from the grave and consumed the ambrosia with mighty gusto. This is exciting. I've never seen this happen. Yay! Wait, where's he going? Oh man. Look at Glorinda, she's so sad. Before Glorinda could say a word, Tragic drove off, leaving her brokenhearted. What did she do wrong? Was she not good enough? Glorinda decided it was time for change. She purchased the local research facility and forced the scientists to perform an experimental surgery on her in order to rewire her brain and change her traits. The operation was a success and Glorinda began training in her specially constructed enclosure. Then suddenly, she got a call. It was Tragic. Turns out he just went home because he's an AI from 2009 with no concept of gratitude or causality. Overjoyed, Glorinda went on another shopping spree, acquiring most of the remaining businesses in town. By this point in the video, you might be asking, how was she able to afford all this? Tree maxing. When you find a special seed, there's a chance it's a money tree seed. A money tree never stops yielding harvest and eventually drops another seed. So with patience and time, Glorinda grew herself a passive daily income of 12K. After all this time, things were finally coming together for Glorinda. Her net worth was growing, her relationship with Tragic was blossoming, and there was but one last matter to take care of. The wedding was going to be perfect. Glorinda got herself a beautiful gown and invited everyone she knew, even the rude paper girl. And after some socializing, the ceremony took place in the living room, of course. Tragic moved in and the real party started. Hell yeah, dude, Glorinda's shredding. Hey, stop dancing with my man. Aw, she looks at him so lovingly. Jesus, what a bitch. Not the time or place to be practicing guitar, like seriously, dude. When the party died down and everyone left, Glorinda and Tragic went on to, well, you know. And afterwards, unless later records prove otherwise, lived happily ever after.
So lonely, keep my eyes on the prize, waiting for my one and only. Oh, set my spirit free, so I can finally see that when you're here with me, I'm all that I could be.
The Sims 3 was the last Sims game made by Maxis before EA absorbed it, and it shows. You can feel they really wanted to push the envelope, and even if not every part of that effort was a success and the game had a fairly short run, it's clear that the goal was to innovate. I don't even need to get into how Sims 4 goes against that principle and how it has set the franchise back because everyone knows. But it doesn't take away from how much I enjoyed and still enjoy The Sims 3. I mean, after making this video, the first thing I wanted to do is go and get the complete collection on Steam so I could experience more of what this game has to offer. I didn't because it's like $200, but still, you know, it's the thought that counts. I sincerely hope you enjoyed this mini-series. These have been some of my favorite videos to make, and I hope that trend continues throughout the rest of 2025. Once again, thanks to War Thunder for sponsoring. Don't forget to check them out with my links in the description or pinned comment to get the bonus pack for new and returning players on PC or console. It's time limited, so get it before it's gone. Tell me what you want to see down in the comments, and if you want to support me, check out my Patreon. Bunch of exclusive stuff on there that I'm sure you will enjoy. That's it, thank you for watching, here are some more videos, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye bye!